Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Really special show today. I'm excited about it. We are going to do a temperature check of the 2021 Baltimore Ravens, see where we stand in a bunch of areas, and also really happy to highlight two of my favorite people to interact with on Twitter, members of the Ladies Flock, proud Ladies Flock, and that's Miss Teasy and Crystal. So, Teasy, I'm going to start with you. Introduce yourself and tell people where they can find your thoughts on the Ravens.
Hi, I'm Miss Teasy, and you can follow my Twitter handle is 4 and 1 to love. The number four, a capital N, the number one, and T0. I mean, no, TOLUV.
There you go. And Crystal, how about yourself?
Hey, I'm Crystal. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Football. That's MS dot football.
That's right, Ms. Football. And their links will be below so you can easily find them. Or probably in my just normal conversation, I talk to them. So you scroll my Twitter. But hey, the first question, this was something TZ wanted to talk about, so I'm going to start with her. Lamar Jackson. It always starts with the quarterback. Got my LJ jersey on today, as a matter of fact. But
I should have put mine on, but it's behind me though.
that's all right. Hey, maybe next time. I'm sure I'll have you on again. But yeah, with Lamar, the outside noise is something we deal with as Ravens fans and see all the time. So I wanted to know, number one, do you think that affects him? If so, how? And then number two, we hear a lot about the outside the numbers throws. Do you think that's an area that he needs to improve on, or is that overblown? And do you think that's just part of his natural progression where he'll get it? So TZ, go ahead and start us off, and Crystal, pick us up.
The outside of the numbers thing, I really just don't like that because Lamar has thrown outside of the numbers a few times, especially that one throw I like when we played the Titans to Mark Andrews. He is just not a middle of the field person. I hate when the media says he can't throw outside of the numbers. It's just like Lamar has to prove so much, even if he's already done that, and I'm just not feeling that.
How about the
Yeah, I
outside
don't.
noise? Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to ask TZ. What about the
That's okay.
outside
Go ahead.
noise part of it?
Oh, huh?
What about the
Oh,
outside
what did you say?
noise?
I
Yeah.
can't hardly hear you going in the outside noise. Now, I was just, you know, I don't think the outside noise gets to him. I think sometimes it may with the coaches because it seems like they try to force him, like, oh, Lamar can't throw and this and that. But when we get into these playoff games, you take away from the running and just throw. I don't like that. I think the outside noise gets into the coaches more than Lamar. I don't know what
Yeah, I
y'all
agree.
think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the outside noise bothers him. What I think is Lamar's having fun, right? I think he's having fun. I think that the people, the media that don't like him don't like that, right? So I think he's having a good
Absolutely.
time. I don't really get too wrapped up in the whole outside of numbers thing because guess what? The Ravens haven't really had that. And if you look in the history of their quarterbacks, they haven't had that. You know, Joe has an arm, but Joe also hasn't been able to throw outside the numbers a lot, right? So
Right.
I think the team needs to let Lamar be who Lamar is and stop trying to force him to be what he's not and let him play his game. Let it come naturally.
Absolutely.
I think they will see, they will probably see some success.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not going to add too much to it because you guys pretty much said it. Lamar can throw outside the numbers. We've seen it. And it's more of a media driven thing. I think there you are.
Sorry, y'all. I made a mistake and hit a button.
That's okay. I was
Okay.
just going to say though, it's more of a media driven thing I think than anything else. People who don't watch the Ravens and study the Ravens and follow them like we do, it's just like, well, he does all this great, this great, this great, this great. What doesn't he do well? So they put a lot of emphasis on that outside the numbers mess, and we've seen it. I mean, I'm sure you all see my videos highlighting it too. So, yeah, no problems with Lamar. Agree with both of you. The next thing I wanted to get to, this one I'm gonna start with Crystal. The Super Bowl window is something that we hear a lot about, Crystal. Once you pay your quarterback, then of course you don't have as much money to pay everybody else. You got to hit your draft picks better. Do you think that this is a make or break year for the Ravens? And what do you think on the window overall as far as the future of the Ravens?
I don't. I think again that's all chatter, right? So I get it that there are fans and there are people that feel like, okay, it's been almost 20 years since the Ravens won a Super Bowl, so what's taking so long to get to the next one? And I think we have a young team. We have folks. We have a lot of time in front of us. We have a lot of time to get there. I don't unless the NFL is going to shut down next year. I don't see there being a rush for us to get, um, you know, to get to another Super Bowl? Do we have to get better and after the in the postseason? Sure. Do we have to get better in the regular season? Absolutely. But I don't think there's a race. And there's probably there's 31 other teams that would like to get there too, right? There are other guys that get paid to
Right.
play football. So I don't think that,
Right.
and we should be focusing on the Baltimore Ravens and y'all better hurry up and get there, because
Right.
as long as you have people in the league like Tom Brady and these teams that are going to that are a little bit better, I'm not going to say they're far and above, but they're better, right? And everybody's competing for that spot at the end of the football season. And so I don't necessarily think that there's a window. Do I think that we probably it's probably should happen sooner rather than later? Sure, everybody wants to see that team go to the Super Bowl, but I don't think there's a clock that we should be putting on that team to say, hey, you all need to get there now or never. It's now or never.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree because it takes time and it takes the time for the whole team to get the gel together. It's new rookies in there and everything. We got to do, and it takes time and pace. And you don't have to. Oh, well, the Raiders don't get there, them they're buzz, or Lamar can't get them there. It's not just Lamar; it's the whole team. And I hate that they act like Lamar has to put the whole team on his back. Like it's other players on the team that need to take the step to get us to the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, I agree
Right.
with you, Crystal.
And let's look at the number of teams that haven't made it. They've never made won a Super Bowl. Right. So
Right.
that's what really we should really be talking about whether or not it's a make or break year for them. If we
Absolutely.
want to take it there, let's look at the teams that have never been.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look at how razor thin the margin is for victory in the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
it takes some luck and it takes some just circumstances, and it's not right to put it all on the quarterback. And then the one thing I wanted to add is that, how well the Ravens have drafted and developed their players everywhere. I mean, sure, once you pay the quarterback, it's less money for everybody else, but in my opinion, having the quarterback is the most important thing. I mean, you look at like your
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, like you mentioned, they're in there every year giving their team a chance to win. So I think it's a little overhyped. Sure, yeah. I mean, it's best to win it when they're on the rookie contract, but I don't worry about it for the future. Another
Yeah.
thing people talk about is the identity. I think this is a TZ thing. I think something I've seen you talk about. Like, what is the Ravens' identity? What should it be? And then you mentioned it earlier. You touched on it a little bit. Do you think we stray away from that identity? So just talk about the identity of this team and where you see it and where you see it going and all that good stuff.
I mean, I think I love when I actually was about pretty much the does Wink stray away from the identity, like when it goes like when you go against Kansas City Chiefs. That's what it was. Like
Okay.
that's the main thing what it was, and it's not a shot at him or anything. I was just saying because the defense seems like sometimes when we play the Kansas City Chiefs, it seems like we fold, and it seems like we get away from what we need to do to win. Like you are blitzing Mahomes. Won't you send four at him? You can rush four or whatever, but why keep blitzing him? You see what I'm saying? Like you don't have. I know Wink is a blitzer, but it just seems like we get away from the things that we do all year when we get to them Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't know why. That's what the question was
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, fair
That's what
enough.
it was.
Crystal, like, do you feel like that against when you're playing a quarterback like Mahomes, who can read the blitz, drift away from it, and make plays? Like, I actually had a show the other day. I was talking with Ken about trying to get that 4-man rush going. Is there a thing like? Do you think Wink blitzes because that's him, or you think it's because we don't have them star edge rushers?
Yeah, that might
So,
be.
whether right, wrong, or indifferent, the Ravens' identity has been their defense for so many years, right? You can look back
Right.
at Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all the, and I mean, even go as far as back as Chris McAllister, all those guys on defense, that played defense, that made this team the stout, that people know the Ravens are known for their defense, right? So over the years, that defense has changed, right? So
Right.
if the defense has changed, the scheme has to change. Right, so if the scheme means that you have to blitz the quarterback and or it means you have to rush forward, you need to do what works. The problem I have with the
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens is they don't necessarily want to do what works. They want to do what they want to do too much sometimes, and sometimes doing too much is not doing enough. Right, and so they are
Yeah.
so focused on beating in some cases Andy Reid, who was a member of the Ravens coaching staff at one point in time. So at one point they want to do kind of too much, and I think that's part of the problem that we have with the team, with the coaches. I think that it's less about the players and more about the coaches. But the Ravens' identity has always been defense, always been smash mouth football, put the ball on the ground. Look at Jamal Lewis. His rushing yards over the years. Ray Rice. That has been the team's identity, and I think the coaches want to take it away from them based on, depending upon who they're playing. And it's been, you probably heard it been said before, that they tend to play down to their to the talent, and they don't seem to want to beat the team that they should beat. And that's the part of the I had with them when they play in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like against Kansas City, it just seemed like everything just goes different for them.
Yeah, it just
To me,
seems like
anyway.
I don't know. It seems like we play tight, or we don't have the confidence in ourselves to just play our game sometimes. Just in
Yeah.
those games, like we see that it's like, look, just calm down, y'all. We're fine. We can match these guys. Let's just play
Yep.
Ravens football and do what we need to do.
Yeah, we
So
got the talent, and it shows when we played the Steelers, when we played the Browns, we
Yeah,
played the Bengals. We always played them tight. We always played them tough. And for some reason, when we decide to go outside of the division, we pretend to forget what it
crumble.
means to play football, and
Yeah,
that's what sometimes can be frustrating.
well, hey, I mean, we've got our chances at the Chiefs, and we'll see them week 2. So maybe we'll talk about
gotcha.
that game. Maybe we'll talk about that game itself in a little while. But
Well, they
big.
better win because I'm gonna beat it.
You gonna be there for that one? Nice, man.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, it's a big game. Like I feel like we'll save that for later. But yeah, the
Yeah.
running back room is another thing. I'm gonna start with Crystal on this one. Crystal wants to talk about the skill players. So if you want to talk about the wide receivers too, that's fine. But obviously, the big news in Baltimore the last couple of days has been the signing of Le'Veon Bell and the signing of Trenton Cannon, a younger guy who can play special teams to replace Dobbins and replace Justice Hill. Now, obviously, there's no replacing J.K. Dobbins. I mean, that man's special in the prime of his career. So, Crystal, big time temperature check here. Like, how are you feeling about the running backs? And if you want to add the other skill players in there, go for it.
I'm not. I guess I'm not in that camp that feels like the world's falling apart because J.K. Dobbins is hurt. We want to see him get better next year. We want to see him come back, at full strength. But I like Gus. I've always liked Gus. I've always liked what he can do. I've always felt like when the Ravens were on the goal line, put Gus in. Gus is a bigger, stronger back.
Yeah.
So I always felt like we were good there. Not really sure how I feel about Le'Veon Bell. Which is why he's on the practice squad now. Granted, when he was with the Chiefs and with the Steelers, he was actually a very good player. So but it'll be interesting to see how he fits in the Ravens offense. I don't know that he can do the same things that J.K. Dobbins did, right? I don't know that he can do the same things that Gus Edwards can do. I wasn't really too much of high on Justice Hill. I thought Justice was very good for those short yardage, plays, maybe on first down, second down, and in special teams. I thought Justice was good. I don't really have. I'm not really too nervous about the running back room. I feel like if the Ravens will open up the playbook and let some of these receivers get their catches, I think we can mix it up. And I think people won't even notice that we have we've got some issues in the running back room now that J.K. Dobbins went down. I think that's the part of what I said earlier. Let Lamar do what Lamar does. Let Hollywood Brown, those folks that are healthy, let them make the plays. Let James Prochet show you what he can do. If Rashad Bateman, if he's healthy, let those guys get open. Let's go back to those days when we had Torrey Smith and Steve Smith Sr. Let's open up that playbook and let these guys get down the field and make plays for the team.
Yeah, agreed.
Miss Teasy, what you got on it?
Yeah, I always, y'all see me put it on Twitter. I have been Gus has been my number one forever. But yeah, I agree. And I liked it. What's his name? McCrary. I really liked him. I liked the Tyson Williams better. I liked him. I called him Gus Edwards -1 because he had number 34. But I really liked McCrary. I really liked him. And shot to Gus. I mean to Justice Hill. I thought they should have cut him. Honestly, I thought they should have waived him and kept him. But the Ravens know what they're doing. They've been doing it forever. So I guess they felt who they thought was going to be the best man for it.
Yeah, as far as Justice, like I know what kind of role he played on special teams, and you guys know I'm a nerd when it comes to football, and I like pay attention to special teams as close as anything. And I mean, man, for a guy his size to get down there on special teams and out muscle, the double teams as the gunner, get through that,
Yes.
split them, and then get down and be under control enough to make a play. Like I love that part of his game, but as a runner, he really hasn't lived up to what I thought he was going to be coming out of Oklahoma State. So Nate McCrary was a guy that I was really impressed with. I'm really sorry that the Broncos picked him up because I mean, especially now, we could have really used Nate McCrary. But hey, I guess it's we have what we have, and I kind of agree with Crystal on this. I mean, our system and Lamar himself. I mean, for all the complaints we have about Giro, I mean, we know we're going to have a good running game with him and Lamar. He did wonderful things for Lamar, at least at the start of Lamar's career. I want to see, like you said, Crystal, it open up this playbook more. and trust Lamar more as a passer. But yeah, as far as running the ball, the Ravens are going to be up there. Like I just don't
Yeah.
I just don't sweat it. I mean, we're going to miss J.K. in the biggest of big games where we need that extra big play. But overall, I don't think it's
Mhm.
going to hurt us too much this year. So hey, we're 5 days away. Probably by the time I put this video out, it's going to be 4 days away. Monday Night Football in a brand new stadium out there in Las
Yeah.
Vegas. That place is going to be
Yes.
nuts. So if you need to take some more time for this question, like, or go back and forth a little bit between each other, I want to hear. I want to hear how you see this game. And who am I starting with this time? I forgot. Let's see. Oh man,
How
I
we see
mess up. I think
the
it's you,
Raiders game?
TZ. I think it's you, TZ. What do you think
Oh,
about
you
this
saying
Raiders
how?
game?
Oh, boy, I think we beat them. I wait a minute. This thing keep popping up on my phone. That's why I'm like doing stuff on my phone because stuff keep popping up on it. I think we beat them, and I think that Lamar gonna shock some people. I think he's gonna throw more. Yeah, I mean, when it's time for us to run, we're gonna run. But I think he's gonna shock us. He's gonna have Hollywood down there, whatever, and even Sammy Watkins. I just can't wait to see Sammy Watkins and Hollywood out there. I just can't wait to see. I think we beat them. I think we beat them about like 40-14. I'm talking about smashing them, y'all.
All
What you
right.
think, Crystal? I think we gonna tear them up.
Yes, I'm not that optimistic. I think the Ravens get the win. I think it's gonna be a close game because the Raiders are not, they're not a bad team. So I think they're going to. I think that defense is probably going to, early on, probably try to, show, that how John Gruden is. If you send them coach teams, you've seen why you seen them all. I think that defense is going to try to do what they can to kind of shut down the run game at first. I think it'll probably might be a little bit hard for them because they don't know who they're going to get, now on the field in terms of your running backs. I think they'll try to take away. They may try to take away the pass, but like you said, Lamar may have to do some of it with his legs.
Yeah.
The defense, Marlon Humphrey's going to have to play tight on their, on those receivers. I think it's going to be a good game. We're back this year with fans, so the fans may play into a little bit into the way that the outcome is a little bit anyway. The noise out there. If you met a Raiders fan, they're probably
Yeah.
just as wild as the Baltimore Ravens fan. So I think that may be a factor as well. I think that the Ravens get the win. I'm thinking maybe 30-24. But I
Yeah.
think it should be a good game, and I'm looking forward to the start of the season.
Me too. So
Yeah.
yeah, just to dig into the Raiders, what do you think about Derek Carr, TZ? What do you think about Derek Carr? Maybe Henry Ruggs. What do you think
Besides
about?
his pretty eyes, I don't know. He already. I think he's pretty good. When I seen him play, he can run a little bit too, but he not no Lamar Jackson. I think they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to him. I'm not gonna say I like that car,
What about Waller, Crystal?
but not against us.
See, make you nervous, Darren Waller.
Darren Waller was a Raven, so you know what,
Yes.
so I'm pretty sure he's probably geared up. He's probably told him a little bit about our secondary and about our defense. So, but I think he's very good. I think he's. I actually wish we would have kept him. Not to say I would have got. I don't like Mark Andrews because I love Mark Andrews. I actually hope
Yeah.
we get him involved a lot. Not only this game but in the season. But I think Waller's going to be a threat if we're not careful. I think if we don't tighten up, make sure that defense is tightened up. Limit his catches. I think he's going to get his numbers because he is a very good player.
Yeah,
Yes, he's very good.
he's very good. And the one thing that worries me about their offense, like I'm not a big fan of the Raiders' offensive line. I think we can handle them there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to there's passes over the middle, you don't need your offensive line to hold up as much.
No.
You don't need
Right.
as much time. So with Darren Waller, and then they got the little guy Hunter Renfro, who's also a
Yep.
pretty good little slot receiver. And then with Tavon, we haven't seen him play. I mean, it's been 2018 since he's played a full season. So I'm a big Tavon fan, and I'm hopeful he's going to come back like the same Tavon. But when we're talking about these new safeties we got, the linebackers covering Waller, and then Tavon covering, mixed in there with Renfro, that's my one biggest worry in this game is that they're going to be able to hit us with the short passes, which I think is
Yeah.
right up Carr's. For Derek Carr,
Yeah.
he's a rhythm passer and he can read the blitzes real well. So I think that that's how they can hurt us. But like overall, when I look at the other side of the ball and the Ravens offense versus the Raiders defense, I think it's set up real nice for us. I mean,
Yeah, nice matchups. Yep.
yeah, like Yannick on the edge, we saw from him from when he was here. He's a good player, but he has trouble holding up against a strong running game. And you guys are both Gus fans. Like I can't
Yes.
just can't see this. Like I can't see them slowing us down too much. So I think
Me either.
if I had to make a pick, which I don't, I would say a higher scoring game on this one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was thinking because I think we could put up 40 on them. But then they got that wide receiver. His name Ruggs. I liked him last year. What's his name? Henry Ruggs or something
Henry
Henry
like that. I
Ruggs,
Ruggs,
yeah.
liked
yeah.
him. Yeah, I liked him last year too. But where he at?
Yeah, remember too.
Was he hurt?
Remember, it wasn't that far, not long ago that Derek Carr had the Raiders humming before he got hurt. So it wasn't that long ago that he, they were
Yeah,
the Raiders were actually, they were actually right in there with the rest of the AFC until he got hurt.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're a funny team to read to me. Like you seen
Yeah.
them last year, like beat Kansas City, and then you see them lose these games. Like I think they, what was it? They should have lost to the Jets, but or they beat the Jets. I think it was late, and it's like the Jets
Hmm.
should have won that game. They just threw it away. So like the Raiders, for me, like that's a team. If I'm betting on, I'm staying away from because I can't get a read
Yeah.
on them week to week. Like you
Yep.
said, Crystal, like John Gruden is a good, like I believe in him as a game day coach, but like some of the
hold
moves
on.
he makes seems a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. So Crystal, I'll start with you on this one
I
then.
mean,
Kansas City, Kansas City. We talked about them. I mean, it seems like every Ravens show I do, the Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid come into the conversation out of nowhere.
thank
So
you.
we talked a little bit about staying with ourselves, open up the playbook, a lot of things. But can you like just take this segment to nail it down? What you want to see in week 2 when they come to our house Sunday night?
Yeah. What I want to see is a complete game plan. I want 360 football. That means I want everybody clicking, right? I want defense, offense, special teams. Everybody's got to be clicking because anytime you make a mistake against a good team like Kansas City, you run the risk of losing the game, right? So in most cases, you probably always want to control the time of possession. Keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, and you don't have to worry about that, right? Control the clock. Keep the ball out of his hands and just play sound football. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to do too little. Right. Just make sure that every all sides of your ball are clicking. Right. If you have don't run too much. Don't throw too much. You just want to make sure. In any time you're playing a team like, and I'm not talking about just Kansas City, I'm talking about anybody, like anybody that
Anybody.
like if the Bucks come to town, you just want, and we have yet actually, and probably in the last, I would say 6 or 7 games, to see the Ravens play, other than the preseason just a few games ago, to play a one complete game where there's no mistakes on any side of the ball, and that's what you really want. You want mistake free football.
Right. I think that say if running is killing them, then you keep running on them. If throwing is killing them, you keep throwing on them. I think you could need to contain Patrick Mahomes. You rush 4, like I always say, rush 4. If that's what works for him to keep his little tail contained, then that's what you do to him. The same thing, just like she said, keep it tight on him. I mean, we could beat him even if you could do some more short passes because I seen that work on some teams. They throw it short and then they get yards like that. Even with Devin Duvernay, I seen them throw a short pass to him and he ran. Was that the first game against them or was that the Browns? They did that
He
with.
had a couple of them, but the one on
Yeah,
Cincinnati, I think it was the
yeah. Do
Bengals game.
something like that. That was sick.
Or
That
for you
was sick.
remember, for a long time the Ravens made their living with checkdowns to Ray Rice, and they won
Yep.
many games doing that. So it's not,
Yes.
it's not unheard of.
Yeah, and you
Yes.
know what? I mean, we've all heard this preseason, like from the players, the coaches, the people that attended practice, that the backs are going to be more involved in the pass game, and I think that's important because in the area, the short flats on each side, like we haven't taken advantage of
Yes.
that. We don't throw
Yep.
to the backs very often. A little swing pass to Tyson. I mean, I think Gus can handle it too. I mean, his hands aren't bad. And this is where maybe Le'Veon Bell steps in because we know what kind of pass catcher he is. But just to threaten that short area, the flat, and then so we can use our speed down the sidelines and use our speed down the field.
Yeah.
You look at Hollywood. Sammy's still fast, even though he's an older player.
Hmm.
Duvernay, lightning fast. Prochet is quick,
Yes.
not fast. Like we need to be able to use all 53 yards on the sideline to sideline as well as the vertical, and I think that'll help us a lot. But yeah, there's a few points that I loved in there that I just want to touch on. Crystal's point about us being balanced, like let's not take away, let's not limit ourselves and take away any part of our one game in these big games. We can't be afraid of the Honey Badger, or we can't be afraid of Frank Clark, Chris Jones. I mean, on the inside, some of these players that they have, double team them, do what you need to do. I'm looking forward more to like the quick passing game this year. I think that's where Prochet and Sammy
Yeah.
are going to help
Yep.
us out a lot. Like, I mean, think about it. I mean, we were throwing to Des Bryant last year, brought him in off the street because we didn't have no more options. We were using Ricard in the flat to get to get yards on first down. Like, we don't need to be doing that this year with Prochet and Sammy. And then to T's point, like when we have something working, do not go away from it. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. This is something that I've seen that we usually do pretty well. Like I'm sure you guys remember, like we've had these games where we open the game and we run the ball 9 straight times for a touchdown. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. You don't need to show
Yep.
nobody nothing. Just win the game.
Right.
Yep.
It's like be you, like Crystal said earlier. Stick to your identity. You no need to do all this fancy stuff or do too much because that's when you start losing
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be interesting, and like you guys said, not just for Kansas City. That's the ones we got our eyes on, but
anybody.
for anybody, yeah. But something else I wanted to say and get your opinion on, not only for like the seeding purposes when it comes down to who gets the bye and that kind of stuff, but like from a psychological standpoint, like this is a confident Ravens team. But you guys know
Mm.
there's a difference between knowing you can do it and then having done it. Like from a psychological standpoint, I don't want to hear all these questions after week 2. I want it to be, yeah, we knew we could beat the Chiefs. We got them in our house and we took care of business. Am I making
Right.
too much? Am I making too much of that? Like if we lose this game, is it like should we go all out to win this game? And is it as big a deal to you as it is to me?
It's a big deal to me too. I just want us to finally beat them. I want to beat everybody, but I think we need to beat them. We can beat them. I think we be in our own head. The team be in their own head sometimes, and it gets to them. But we need to get them. We need to beat them. We can beat them. We're just as good as they are. We can beat them.
Yeah, I think we can beat them. But what you know what I would love? I would love to not be a wild card team, right? I would love to have a playoff spot locked up, you
Mm.
know, and towards the end of the season, we're not worrying about who else. We're not watching what other teams are doing to see if we can get a spot. We're not stressing out about what we need. We need to win the next 3, 4, 5 games to make sure we get there. What I would like to be able to do is lock up a spot, and then just find out what seed I am. Right. And if that means I lose to Kansas City on the way there, okay. But I think that in order for them mentally to get over the proverbial hump, they need to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said. And like from the thing I do as a football fan is I want to win that division first. Like
Right.
you win the division, you're in, and then it's a tough division in the first place. So, you know,
It is.
more important, I guess, than Kansas City is beating Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. But yeah, I just look at that. Maybe it's my emotions on Kansas City where I will like Teasy said, I just get it out of the way. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it for Lamar. Like, let's just get it over the way. So, hey, we're doing great with time. So I want to throw in an extra
Mhm.
question here, which I don't usually
Okay.
get. Now, when I have these men come on, they ramble on and on and on, and I can't get them to shut up. So, predictions. You got a record prediction? Anything in mind, or is that too far away? Crystal, go ahead. Start
Ooh.
us off with this one.
I have a record for this. So I'm thinking 13-4. I'm actually really feeling really good about our guys and the season. So I think 13-4. I think we drop a couple of division games. I think we split with Pittsburgh. I think we sweep the Bengals, maybe split with the Browns. So I think I'm really feeling good about this season.
I don't know yet. Like I don't really know yet, but I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna split with the Browns. I think we're gonna split with them. They kind of tough this year. Well, they be tough every year. They be tough on paper anyway, but they be tough. I think we're gonna go at it with them again. The Bengals, yeah, sweep them. I think we're gonna sweep the Steelers this year, but I don't know about prediction. I don't know. Maybe 14-3,
All
maybe.
right. Yeah, I did a prediction show with Sarah. You guys might have seen that, and Jameel and Jordan. And so I had to give my official predictions. I did one with Knox and Dev too. So I was actually with Crystal at 13-4. And the funny part is my predictions were scarily like close to what Crystal said. Like I think
Uh-huh.
that Browns game is gonna like that second Browns game when they're on a bye week and we're
Lamar.
playing Steelers. That's going to be a really tough game. And then I look at
Yeah.
Green Bay, the Rams,
Yeah.
We play the Colts, who's always tough, even though their quarterback situation. The Chargers, like I could see two losses somewhere in those games too, and then one always pops up that you're not expecting. So
Yeah.
Right, right.
when it's all said and done, I'll give me the 13-4. So if you have to nail it down, that's kind of how I'm feeling about the predict. I've seen some where they have us at 9 games and 8 games. I'm wondering what they're thinking because this is a complete team. So, but yeah,
My son said 17 is
there you go. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that kind
well,
of
at least he
optimism.
confident.
Yeah. Hey, let's just get to 1-0. You know what I mean? 1-0.
Yeah.
Work on this Kansas City game. So, man, this has been a lot of fun, but I can't let you guys go without asking your experience as a ladies Ravens fan. Now, I want to give my little story first of all. Now, when I grew up, a lot of the girls that I went to school with weren't into football. It was like a boys thing. And then when we got the team and I started going to the Ravens games, I saw a lot of women fans out there with their jerseys and everything. And I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. You know, they're there with their husbands and la di da da. Well, as I've gone through life and like met more people and work, oh my goodness, at work, there's been just so many women Ravens fans that know their stuff, and I'd rather talk to them more times than not than some of the guys. So, Miss Teasy, tell me about what your favorite part is about being a ladies Ravens fan, and if you want to throw in some frustration there and talk about the hard
Yeah.
parts, that's cool too.
Well, first, my love of football, first, I'm going to talk about that, came from my mother. My mother is a football fan. I used to sit there and watch when I was younger with her. And look, my favorite team was Green Bay.
What
I
was it?
was like a
Say it
football
again,
fan.
Teasy. What was?
I said my favorite team was Green Bay.
Okay.
But what I liked about being a lady, we be having each other's back, like on Twitter and everything. It's fun. We really have each other's back, and I just love it. I just love when women get together and talk football, and yeah, I just love being a ladies Ravens fan. That's how I met, Crystal. I don't know none of them. Knew none of them on there. Probably except for one that is a real friend of mine, but everybody else I met through Twitter, through other people, and all the ladies on there is really nice. And they go to war with you out there too, because a lot of men be like, "Yo, women don't know the football," or they, try to take away from the things you do know or the comments you make, and then the ladies be right there to have your back. Like, look, we got this. We sit there watch the Ravens too, we watch other teams too. We know what we talking about, and I love that about the flock, the ladies flock. Love you, Crystal.
Crystal, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
love
know
you
if you
too. Yeah,
heard
that's
my
for
spiel,
me.
but
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, for me, that's the biggest thing is being able to talk football with the best of them. And then my favorite part is that think you don't, that you can't. Right. So, and that's the best part for me is being able to, talk about the game, not just the uniforms and the players, to actually talk about the X and O's and with people that think you can't. Right. And so, and having an opinion that actually is included and matters. And like I said, and like T said, just the camaraderie amongst the ladies. I used to be a part of the Lavender Ladies, which was exclusively women's lady group that they discontinued a couple of years ago. There's 150 of us that we got together every Sunday, sometimes during the week, and just watch football. And not just the Ravens, but everybody. So it's all about a fellowship, friendship, talking football, and it's exciting. It's and if you're a Ravens fan, you know about stressful football. So and it's also fun to watch, and I think that's what makes it good, makes it wonderful being a Lady Ravens fan.
yeah, like I said, but it took me a while to realize just how many women knew football and knew the X's and O's. I mean, we just had a whole show basically about the matchups and the philosophy of the Ravens. And like I said, maybe that was because I didn't grow up with many female fans. My mom wasn't a big
Mhm.
football, she wasn't into football. She liked baseball. But yeah, the more I experienced it, I'm like, man, and then of course working, I was some of my best friends at work, the lady Ravens fans. We talk about every day, just like we do on Twitter with ourselves, like talk about every move every day. Like it seems like football is a 365 days a year. Like I don't remember it
Yeah.
being like that. Like it goes right into the draft and then the OTAs and then little break, then it's training camp, and then I mean signings, free agency period, all that, like 24/7. So yeah, football is family, and I'm really really thankful that you guys decided to join me on this. I know
I
one
be
of y'all
nervous.
said you're a little shy, a little nervous. CTZ, I wasn't
Me.
trying to call you out. That was you.
I don't
That
do
was you.
stuff like this. I do not, yo. But it was fun. It was fun. I do not.
It
I
was
do
fun,
not do
yeah.
nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully, hey, we can do that again. We can do this again later. maybe during the season, the off season. I'm always looking for ideas, and I know that you two always have some good ideas. So, I mean, I'm really thankful for this. I hope you know are proud of the video. I hope you share it. It'll be on Huddle It Up Films. Probably get it out tomorrow. So,
Okay.
any parting words or anything that you'd like to say, Crystal? I'll start with you.
No, well, thank you for having us. I look forward to the season and go Ravens.
Well, thank you for having us. And football is family.
Thank you. All right, you won. You won on that one. You got me on that one. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for joining us.
Y'all
Say
take
goodbye.
care.
Say goodbye, ladies.
All right.
See you
See
later.
y'all. Have a good one. All right. Bye bye.